Hello students, I once again welcome you all to Onboard Digital classes. After a span of some time, we are again back to completing important events of 2024. All these important events till the month of June has already been uploaded. If you have not watched the video, I would request all the students to kindly watch that video as well. Today, in this video, I shall be covering important events from the month of July. So to begin today's session, let us discuss that India is going to observe Samvidhaan Hatya Diwas on June 25th from 2024 onwards. Alright, and why has Bharat chosen June 25th? And this year particularly, because this year India enters 50th year since the imposition of the emergency. We know we have faced emergency in 1975 during the reign of then Prime Minister Indira Gandhiji, haven't we? So, in order to commemorate the immense sacrifices and contribution of those who endured the harsh realities of 1975 emergency. Alright, and the government is saying that government is bringing two reasons why government is bringing this Samvidhaan Hatya Diwas. First is to honor the spirit of millions who struggled to revive democracy. We know that during the emergency there was a actual murder of democracy, right? And also to acknowledge the inexplicable persecution faced by citizens at the hands of the government during the emergency period. So these are the two reasons why government is bringing this Samvidhaan Hatya Diwas on June 25th from this year onwards. Okay, and let us see the key events and consequences during emergency in 1975. First, there was suspension of civil liberties. We know the Constitution of India gives us the right under Article 19(1)(a), and the right says freedom of speech and expression, and this right guaranteed by the Constitution of India was curtailed during emergency. Alright, so there was a suspension of civil liberties, and also there was a press censorship. We know press is the fifth pillar of democracy, right? During 1975 emergency it was censored. Anything against the government was absolutely censored. Alright, so that was another consequence. Next is mass arrest. Almost all opposition leaders were imprisoned. Because why? Because they were dissenting against the government. Alright, so that was another consequences. And another one is electoral disruption. The government cancelled scheduled elections, undermining the democratic process. So under any democracy, election is paramount, right? Without election, you cannot really have a government. If there is no election by the people, then it is autocracy, right? It is dictatorship. So we were facing such type of thing during 1975 emergency. And next one is rule by decree. Decree means what? Because there was a authoritarian rule, right? Democracy was replaced by authoritarian rule through executive orders. There are various orders, right? One is executive that the government brings, and there are some judiciary orders. We have seen judicial pronouncement becoming like orders, right? So through executive orders, the normal functioning of democracy was replaced by authoritarian rule. So that is the reason why the present government is saying that they are going to bring Samvidhaan Hatya Diwas on June 25th. Moving ahead to the next slide. Next, what we have is ISRO's Aditya L1 completes first halo orbit. We know Aditya means sun. So this means this satellite has something to do with sun. This is an India's solar observatory which is inserted in Lagrangian point. Now this L1 means what? This L1 means Lagrangian point. So there are 5 Lagrangian points. Okay, Lagrangian points are those places wherein the centrifugal force of two large bodies as well as the gravitational force balances out. That means if a satellite goes into that point, it's not going to fall back into the Earth's atmosphere due to gravitational pull, nor will that satellite be pulled by the sun. So our satellite by the name Aditya L1 has completed its first halo orbit in that Lagrangian point. Alright, and it took 178 days for Aditya L1 to complete its first halo orbit. Now the question comes, why is it important for any satellite to be placed in a halo orbit? The answer to that question is that it's easier for a satellite to observe sun without any hindrance. That means there are no eclipse from that place. All right. So that is the reason why our satellite Aditya L1 is also placed in Lagrangian point 1. Okay. Let us know more about this mission. First is Aditya L1 mission aims to study the upper atmosphere of the sun. Right. It is also known as chromosphere and corona. As you can see here, this is not the corona that we have had in 2020-21, but this is the corona of the sun. As you can see here, upper atmosphere, upper layer, right? And also the upper layer is called chromosphere. Upper atmosphere is called the chromosphere. All right. So the Aditya L1 has gone to observe corona and chromosphere of the sun. Okay. And also to measure magnetic fields in the corona. So corona also presents the magnetic elements. All right. And investigate space weather drivers like the solar winds. We know there have been many disruptions due to solar winds also, right? So Aditya L1's main aim is also to investigate solar winds, the causes and the drivers for solar winds. And it's also to study the development of CMES. CMES means what? CMES means what? Coronal mass ejections. We have seen many coronal mass ejections in the recent past also, right? So the main aim of Aditya L1 is to study about all those things. Okay. So it's very, very important news article. Moving ahead, 24th Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO Summit. So this year, 24th Shanghai Cooperation Organization was held in Astana, that is in Kazakhstan. All right. So why are we studying about SCO? Because there has been a latest inclusion as a member of SCO. Which country is added? That is Belarus. Belarus is added. So let us know more about SCO. SCO is an intergovernmental organization. Okay, there are many governments involved, focus in the regional security and cooperation. So this is very important. The main reason about the formation of SCO. Okay, its headquarters is in Beijing, China, as we all know, and there are permanently 10 members. Okay, and including the latest edition, Belarus. Belarus was this time added, and there were observer members also, Afghanistan and Mongolia, for this year SCO summit. Okay, as you can see here, SCO expansion, right? The SCO was originally established in 2001 with 5 members. There were only 5 members when there was established. All right. So presently there are 10 members, which includes China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, India, that is Bharat, right? Pakistan, and also in 2023, Iran became the permanent member. So Iran is not going to come in the observer status, right? And also this year, Belarus became the permanent part of SCO members, which makes SCO member to be 10. Okay, and observer status is still with Mongolia and Afghanistan. Okay, there were some dialogue partners and guest attendance also, as you can see here. What is important to remember, that Belarus became the 10th member of SCO. All right. Next is NITI Aayog released SDG, that is Sustainable Development Goal Index of Bharat. Okay, 2023-24. It is always the NITI Aayog that releases this SDG index. Okay, this is one thing that you must remember. Who takes out the index? It is NITI Aayog, right? NITI Aayog has replaced which commission? Please write in the comment section. The SDG index India 2023-24 reveals significant national and subnational progress on sustainable development goals. So according to this report, there has been a significant national and subnational progress. All right. So what is India's composite number? India's composite number has increased to 71. It has improved to 71, right? Reflecting advancement across 5 sectors like poverty eradication. According to a United Nations report, Bharat has reduced in the past 15 years 415 million people out of extreme poverty. So which is very, very significant, right? That is the reason why we see a slight improvement in sustainable development goals. All right. And also economic growth. We have seen there has been a continuous economic growth in Bharat today, right? India is the largest growing economy in the world, largest growing major economy in the world, right? Next is climate action. We have seen increase in the sustainable development fuels, right? We have been studying about SD, sustainable development fuels, in the past classes as well, right? And biodiversity conservation. So these are the factors that help to improve the composite score of Bharat to 71 in Sustainable Development Goals. So there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals that every student must be aware of, starting from no poverty, right? In any country, there should not be any poverty, right? If there is no poverty, then means what? There is zero hunger, right? And when you are not hungry, you get good health and well-being, right? Once this is covered, you get quality education. Once you get educated, there is a gender equality. So this is how you're supposed to memorize. All right. So followed by clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy. Yes, India has been working on this very much, isn't it? Decent work and economic growth. Again, Bharat's performance as far as economic growth is very, very good. Industrial innovation and infrastructure. Bharat has to work much more hard in this, right? Next is reduce inequalities. Even today, Bharat is actually experiencing many inequalities across sectors, right? Followed by sustainable cities and communities. Again, very, very poor performance of Bharat. And 12th is responsible consumption and production. Followed by climate action. Okay. And 14th is life below water. Not only life above water, but we must also be mindful of life below water. That is marine biodiversity, right? Aquatic animals, right? And life on land also. We should reduce pollution, right? Followed by 16 is peace, justice, and strong institutions. You've seen how the United Nations is become toothless today, right? Nobody listens to United Nations because it has actually failed to meet up the expectations of various countries, especially the global south, right? And at last we have 17th SDGs, that is partnership for the goals. So these are 17 sustainable development goals of the United Nations, and they have agreed to fulfill this goal by 2030. And it is for us to see whether how much distant are we from achieving this goal. All right. As you can see here, all 193 members state of the United Nations have committed to achieving these goals by 2030. Right. The Sustainable Development Goals were adopted by all UN members state in 2005 as the part of Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development. Next, we have technology in news. As you can see here, Japan has introduced holographic technology in new bank notes. Why did they do that? In order to prevent counterfeiting. So how did they do that? By cutting edge holographic technology which creates three-dimensional effect. So what are those effects? One is that three-dimensional holographic stripes, that is in yen 10,000 and yen 5,000 notes, okay, that display the portraits from different angles when tilted. That means if you tilt the notes, the portrait that is used in that notes can be seen or it can be displayed, okay, even in different angles. So that is one advantage. Second is enlarged Arabic numerals, that is 10,000 yen which is written, it is enlarged, that means it is made bigger, okay. Also it is easier to recognize by people of all ages and nationalities, okay. Even if as an Bharatiya, if I go, I can easily recognize. All right. Second is tactile marks to help visually impaired individuals. Not only to normal person who can see, but also that note is actually helpful for those who are visually impaired, right, who cannot see. And next is intaglio printing and watermarks for enhanced authenticity, right. They have actually applied watermarks also to enhance its authenticity. All right. Moving ahead, we have another technology in news, that is China has unveiled first carbon fiber high speed train. Now this train is made up of carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is extremely light. Now when it is light, that means what? It affects the velocity, the speed, right? The speed of the train actually enhances. All right. So as you can see here, China has built world's first passenger train made from carbon fiber, a material that makes it much lighter and more energy efficient than convenient trains. So these type of trains are much more lighter than the conventional trains. Okay, because it is made up of carbon fiber. Second is 25% and 50% lighter respective than those of a conventional trains. So it is 25 to 50% lighter. Okay, that would mean the reduction of carbon dioxide emissions of about 130 tons a year, that is 40 hectares of trees planting. Means it is equivalent to planting 40 hectares of trees. Okay, the amount of emission that it is going to reduce, which is quite significant, right? And because this is light, the velocity of the train is also increased. Okay, next what we have is 46th session of the World Heritage Committee. Why is this session important? Because this session was held in India for the first time. Very, very important, because it is held in India for the first time. And in this committee, there were 19 cultural nominations, 4 natural and 2 mixed sites, as well as 2 significant modifications of the boundaries. And even Bharat has nominated 1 site in cultural nominations. And what is that? That is India's Moidums. That is the mound burial system of the Ahom dynasty. As you can see here in this image as well. This is the Moidums, that is the mound burial system of the Ahom dynasty. Okay, this is a burial system of the Ahom dynasty. Why? Because Thai Ahom people believe the kings were divine, leading to the establishment of the unique funerary traditions. The constructions of Moidums are vaulted mounds for royal burials. So this was used for the royal burials. And the nominations of Bharat was also accepted. As you can see, this is the press note of the Ministry of Culture, right? It says that mound burial system of Ahom dynasty inscribed in UNESCO World Heritage list as India's 43rd entry. So this means the nominations which were sent by Bharat was accepted by that committee. Alright, and this was included in UNESCO's World Heritage list as India's 43rd entry. Something you must remember. Next what we have is the ASMITA project of UGC. ASMITA full form is important. What is the full form? Augmenting study materials in Indian languages through translation and academic writing. So at least 22,000 books are developed in Indian languages over the next 5 years. So that is the project of ASMITA by UGC. And recently we have seen One Nation, One Subscription by the Government of India, right? And that is also going to benefit all those scholarly researchers or PhD researchers. Why? Because all the scholarly works is extremely expensive for normal people, for normal students, right? They have to pay huge amount of fees as subscription. But now the government, through One Nation, One Subscription, that is going to be implemented from next year, that is 1st of January 2025, is going to benefit whole bunch of PhD scholars and researchers, right? So that is how government of Bharat is helping those who want to study. And also, as you can see, the projects like ASMITA is also going to benefit many people, because this actually translates all the important journals, books, right, in different languages. So, and also this government is trying to promote regional languages also, right? So it's very good. So what this ASMITA project is expected to play a crucial role in bridging linguistic divides with India's diverse educational landscape. We've seen so many linguistic divides, right? In Bharat, everybody is considering that their language is superior and your language is not superior. So there are various divides. So this type of program is actually expected to bridge the gap between linguistic divides that we have in Bharat, right? Instead of dividing, I think it's important for us as a society to acknowledge each other's traditions, language, right? That language should not be a barrier. All right. And I believe we have come to end of the discussion. As usual, what we do is we will try to solve 2 questions. Okay. And even in today's video, we'll be trying to cover 2 questions that came in this year prelims. And in this video, we'll be doing question from economy. All right. So with reference to the Indian economy, collateral borrowing. Collateral means what? It's a debt giveaway, right? Collateral borrowing and lending obligations are the instrument of. It's very easy. It is a instrument of money market. Why? Because collateral, we don't give collateral in bond, forex, stock market. It is always a money market, right? Second is, this is also fairly easy question from economy. Okay. Why? Because there are items which is given in the left hand side, and there is a category of capital which is given in the right hand side. We are supposed to choose how many of the pairs are correct, right? Farmer's plow, it's said it's a working capital. How can a plow be a working capital? It's a fixed capital, right? This is not correct. This is not correct. Next is computer. Computer is a fixed capital, right? This is absolutely correct. Fixed capital. Yarn used by the weaver, it's called fixed capital. How can yarn be a fixed capital? Fixed capital are assets. So yarn is not an asset. It is something that you use regularly, yarn, right? So that cannot be a fixed capital. Followed by petrol. Petrol is working capital. This is absolutely correct, right? Petrol is a working capital. It's not a fixed capital. It's not an asset, right? You required every day. So anything that you require every day cannot be a fixed capital. It has to be a working capital. All right. So what it says, how many of the above pairs are correctly matched? We have seen that 2 are correctly matched. So we can say easily the answer to this question is B, that is only 2. So with this, we have come to the end of the session. If you have watched the video till here, consider liking the video and also sharing it among your friends who are preparing for various competitive examinations, as I'm sure that this session is definitely going to help you in your upcoming examinations. Thank you very much. I will see you in the next class.